Good morning to all. I welcome all of you in this lecture. This is the lecture number 8 of Turing Machine series. In this lecture, we are going to learn about the recursive language, recursive enumerable language, the relation between recursive and recursive enumerable languages, and the properties defined with respect of recursive and recursive enumerable language. So first we will discuss the recursive and recursive enumerable language. In the previous lecture I have already described recursive language and recursive enumerable language, but in this lecture we are also reminding to those languages, right? So the first is a recursive language, that is which language is said to be a recursive language. A language is said to be a recursive language if there exists a Turing machine which can accept all the strings belonging to L and rejects all those strings which are not belonging to L. If there exists any machine which can perform such type of task, then the given language is said to be a recursive language. The second language is recursive enumerable language. A language L is said to be recursive enumerable if there exists a Turing machine which accepts all the strings belonging to L and rejects or goes into an infinite loop for all the strings which do not belong into L. That is, if the string belong into L, then it will be accepted by a Turing machine. But if the string is not belong into L, in this case machine cannot do anything for those string, because in this case machine goes into an infinite loop. If machine goes into an infinite loop, then there will be no status regarding to those string. So that is, in this case, the machine which may be designed for the recursive language is said to be a Turing decidable machine, and the machine which may be designed for the recursive enumerable language is said to be a Turing acceptable machine. So that is, in the case of recursive language, Turing decidable. In the case of recursive enumerable language, it is Turing acceptable machine. The Turing machine which will be designed corresponding to a recursive language will be in this form. That is, in this case, if you pass any input string W, then the answer of the machine will be either S or no. Y for S, N for no. So in this case, the answer may be either S or no. If the answer is S, it means the string is accepted by machine. If answer is no, it means the string is rejected by the string. Now, the machine corresponding to a recursive language will be like this. So this is the structure of the machine corresponding to a language recursive enumerable. In this case, if you pass us any string W into this machine, in this case the machine will accept the W and gives the answer S. So if W belong into L, then the answer will be S. But if W is not belong into L, then there will be no output. In this case, machine cannot produce any output, right? So if W belong into L, then it produces the output S. If W not belong into L, then it cannot produce any output. Now we discuss the relationship between these two languages. Clearly, this figure denotes the relation between these two. This figure denotes the relation between these two. R denotes the set of recursive language. RE denotes the set of recursive enumerable languages. So clearly, the set of recursive languages is a proper subset of set of recursive enumerable language. Right? So that is the set of recursive language is a proper subset of set of recursive enumerable language. From this figure, it clear that if any language is recursive language, then it will be also a recursive enumerable. If the language is recursive, then it will be also a recursive enumerable. But if the language is recursive enumerable, then it is not necessary it will be recursive, right? It may be recursive and it may not be recursive, right? So if the language is recursive enumerable, then it may be recursive and it may not be recursive, right? So this is the relation between recursive language and recursive enumerable language, right? So now let us come to the next slide. Now in this slide we have mentioned here the properties corresponding to recursive and recursive enumerable language. These are the list of the properties which are defined with respect to a recursive and recursive enumerable language. So now we discuss here one by one. The first property is if L is a recursive language, then complement of L will be also recursive, right? The meaning of the first property is that if any language is recursive, then complement of that language will be also recursive. Okay, so this is the property number one. So if L is recursive, then their complement will be also recursive. Second, if L and complement of L are recursive enumerable language, then L will be recursive language. Then L will be recursive language. Again repeat, if L and complement of L are recursive enumerable, then L will be a recursive language. Okay. Now the third property, the union of two recursive languages is also recursive. That is, if L1 and L2 are recursive, then L1 union L2 will be also recursive, right? Clear? That is, if L1 and L2 are two recursive languages, then the union of these two, that is L1 union L2 will be also recursive, right? Fourth property, the union of two recursive enumerable language is also recursive enumerable. That is, if L1 and L2 are recursive enumerable, then L1 union L2 will be also recursive enumerable. This is the property number 4. Okay. Now we come to the property number 5. Similarly, the intersection of two recursive languages is also recursive. That is, if L1 and L2 are recursive language, then their intersection will be also recursive. That is, L1 intersection L2 will be also recursive. So this is the property number 5. Next, the property number 6. The intersection of two recursive enumerable language is also recursive enumerable, right? So that is, if L1 and L2 are recursive enumerable, then L1 intersection L2 will be also recursive enumerable. Okay, so this is the property number 6. So now we have to prove all these properties. So in the next slide we will prove all these properties one by one. Now let us come to the next slide. Now, so this is the property number 1. Now you have to prove the property number 1. So property 1 was, if L is recursive language, then complement of L, that is L bar, is also recursive language. So you have to prove this statement. That is, if L is recursive, then you have to show that complement of L will be also recursive, right? So here we will prove this. So now let us see how can we will prove this statement. So clearly here you have to given L is a recursive language, right? So first statement here, since L is a recursive language, so according to definition of recursive language, if a language is recursive, it means there exists a Turing machine which can decide to that language, right? So here, so there exists some Turing machine. So here, therefore, there exists a Turing machine which accept all the string belong into L and rejects all the string do not belong into L, right? So let this Turing machine is M. So here we suppose that Turing machine is M, right? So since L is a recursive, therefore there exists a Turing machine which can decide to L, right? So therefore here we let this Turing machine is represented by M. So M is this. So here we put M. Okay. So this is the machine corresponding to a recursive language L. Okay. Now we have to show that complement of L is also recursive, right? So the logic to prove that complement of L is also recursive, here you have to prove in the following way. You have to make a Turing machine which can decide to complement of L. If you can make a Turing machine which can decide to complement of L, then it means the complement of L is recursive. Then you can say that the complement of L is recursive, right? So that is, if you can construct a Turing machine corresponding to a complement of L, then you can say that the complement of L is also recursive, right? So here you have to construct a Turing machine which can decide to complement of L, right? So now let us see how can we construct a Turing machine which is corresponding to a complement of L. So here you have to given a Turing machine M. So here we have constructed another Turing machine M dash. Here we have constructed another Turing machine M dash using M. So here we construct M dash using M. So this is the M machine. Here this is M machine. The answer is yes or no. So here look, if we pass the input string W, if the answer is yes, then we make the answer no of the machine M dash. If the answer of machine M is yes, then we make the answer of machine M dash to be N. Similarly, if the answer of machine M is N, then we make the answer to be S, right? So if the answer is no, we make the answer yes, right? So if the answer of machine M is no, then we make the answer of machine M dash is Y. If the answer of machine M is Y, then we make the answer of machine M dash to be N, right? So this is the structure of the machine M dash. Now you have to check that the machine M dash is corresponding to complement of L or not, right? Now you have to check that. So clearly from the figure, we pass a string W, right? We pass a string W which is belong into a complement of L. So consider a string W which belong into complement of L. So W is belong into complement of L. So when W belong into complement of L, then machine gives the answer no, right? Because if W belong into complement of L, it means W not belong into L. Or if W not belong into L, then machine M gives the answer no. In this case, the answer of the machine will be S, right? So clearly, if W belong into complement of L, then the answer is S, right? Now we consider a string W when W not belong into complement of L. If W not belong into complement of L, in this case W belong into L. If W belong into L, then the answer of machine M will be yes. If the answer of machine yes, then the answer of machine M dash will be no, right? So that is, if W not belong into complement of L, then the output of the machine is no, right? So clearly we look here, if W is belong into L, complement of L, then the output of the machine is yes. If W not belong into complement of L, then the output is no. It means that the machine M dash decide to the language L bar, right? So clearly there exists a machine M dash which decides complement of L. Therefore complement of L is a recursive language. Therefore complement of L is a recursive language. Okay, right? So now your theorem is proved, your property is proved. So here you have to show that complement of L is recursive. Here you have show here, right? Okay. Now let us come to the next properties. Now the next property is, if L and complement of L are recursive enumerable language, then L will be recursive language, right? So here you have to show that if L and complement of L are recursive enumerable, then you have to show that L will be recursive, right? So here you have to prove this. So now look the proof of this. Since L and complement of L are recursive enumerable, right? Therefore there exists Turing machine corresponding to L and complement of L also, which accept L and complement of L, right? So let these Turing machine are M1 and M2. M1 is a Turing machine which accept to L, and M2 is a Turing machine which accept to complement of L. Okay. Now here M1 is this and M2 is this. So M1 is a Turing machine which accept L, and M2 is a Turing machine which accept complement of L. Now, so here the structure of the machine is like S. That is, in this case the output of the machine will be only S, right? So because L is a recursive enumerable. Now you have to construct a machine which decide to language L. Here language L and L bar are accepted, but here you have to make a machine which decide to L, right? So now, so here we construct a machine M using M1 and M2. So this is a machine M1 and this is a machine M2, right? So here we make the Turing machine like this. If we pass the input string W, if the answer of machine M1 is S, then we make the answer is yes. If the answer of machine M1 is yes, then we make the output of machine M to be S, right? But if the answer of machine M2 is yes, then we make the output या answer of machine M to be no, right? So that is, if the output of machine M1 is yes, then the output of machine M will be S. If the answer of machine M2 will be S, then the answer of machine M will be no, right? So here we make the machine M using M1 and M2. Now you have to show that this machine decide to language L. Now you have to show that, right? So now look this as the following. So if W belong into L, so first we consider a string W which belong into L. So if W belong into L, then M1 will accept. Then M1 will accept, because M1 is a machine corresponding to language L. In this case, the answer of machine M1 will be yes. So in this case, answer will be S, right? So in this case, the answer of machine M will be S. So if W belong into L, then the output of this machine will be Y, that is S. Now we consider a string W which do not belong into L. In this case, the answer of machine M2 will be yes. Since W not belong into L, therefore the answer of machine M2 will be Y. In this case, the answer of machine M will be no. So clearly, if W not belong into L, then the answer is no. If W belong into L, then the answer is S. It means the machine M decide to L, right? So that is machine M, clearly machine M accept all the strings which are belong into L and rejects all those strings which are not belong into L, right? It means machine M decide to L. Therefore language L is recursive language. Therefore language L is recursive language. Okay? Now let us come to the next slide. The next property is the union of two recursive language is also recursive. That is, if L1 and L2 are recursive languages, then you have to show that their union, that is L1 union L2, will be also recursive. You have to show here. So now we prove here. So look here. So clearly L1 and L2 are recursive language here. So clearly N1 and L2 are recursive language. Therefore there exists a Turing machine corresponding to L1 and L2. So since L1 and L2 are recursive language, therefore there exists a Turing machine which decide to L1 and L2, right? So decide means, so here recursive language, therefore this type of Turing machine exists. So here M1 is a Turing machine corresponding to L1 language and M2 is a Turing machine corresponding to L2 language, right? So M1 is a Turing machine corresponding to L1 language and M2 is a Turing machine corresponding to L2 language. So since L1 and L2 are recursive language, therefore this type of Turing machine exists. Okay? Now you have to construct a Turing machine using M1 and M2 which can decide to L1 union L2. Okay? So which can decide to L1 union L2. So here we have constructed here a machine M. So here we constructed a machine M. This machine is constructed using M1 and M2. Look here, carefully look here. So here M1 machine. So here M1, consider a M1 machine. If the output of machine M1 is yes, In this case, the output of machine M will be S. So if the output of machine S, then the output of machine M will be also S. But if the output of machine M1 will be no, right? In this case, the second machine will work. Second machine only work when the output of machine M1 will be no. If the, right? So here this output will be applied here, or this point E. E denote the enable point. That is, enable means here this machine only work when the output of machine M1 will be no, right? So if the output of machine M1 is yes, then this machine do not work, right? So that is, in this case, when the output of machine M1 is no, then this machine will work. In this case, this string will pass into M2. If M2 accept the string W, then output of M2 will be Y, right? If W is accepted by M2, then output of machine M2 will be Y. In this case, the output of machine M will be also Y, also S, right? So if the output of machine M2 is yes, then the output of machine M will be also S. But if the output of machine M2 is no, then the output of machine M will be also no, right? So that is, when the output of the machine M2 will be no, in this case the output of machine M will be no, right? So this machine M work like this, right? Now you have to check that machine M decide to language L1 union L2 or not. Now we have to test, right? So look here. So first we pass a string W which belong into L1 union L2, right? So first we consider a string W which belong into L1 union L2, right? Now you have to check the answer will be yes or no. So here we pass a string W. If W belong into, since W belong into L1 union L2, then either W is accepted by M1 or W is accepted by M2, right? Either W is accepted by M1 or W is accepted by M2. If M accepted by M1, then the answer will be yes. If W is not accepted by M1, then this machine enable. In this case, if W is accepted by M2, then again the answer is yes, right? So clearly, if W belong into L1 union L2, then the answer will be yes. Now we consider a string W which not belong into L1 union L2, right? In this case, if W not belong into L1 union L2, so in this case, when we pass a string W to the machine M1, then machine reject, right? Then machine reject. That is, the output of machine M1 will be no. Here machine M2 will be active. In this case, machine will also not accept to W. So here we pass a input string W to the machine M2. Clearly machine M2 will also not accept W, since W not belong into L1 union L2. It means W not belong into L2. Then the output of machine M2 is no. Since the output of machine M2 is no, therefore output of machine M is no, right? So clearly this machine accept all the string which are belong into L1 union L2 and rejects all those input string which are belong into, which do not belong into L1 union L2. Therefore machine M decide to the language L1 union L2. Decide to the language L1 union L2, right? Therefore language L1 union L2 is a recursive language. Therefore, language L1 union L2 is a recursive language. Okay. Now, let us come to the next slide. Now, the next property is the union of two recursive enumerable languages is also recursive enumerable. That is, if L1 and L2 are recursive enumerable, then their union will be also recursive enumerable, right? So since L1 and L2 are recursive enumerable, therefore there exist two Turing machine. So suppose M1 is a Turing machine corresponding to L1 and M2 is a Turing machine corresponding to L2. Let these Turing machine are here, right? So since L1 and L2 recursive enumerable languages, it means the machine will be like this, right? In which the output of the machine will be only S, right? Now you have to construct another machine corresponding to L1 union L2, which can accept to L1 union L2. So here we have constructed a machine M using M1 and M2. So look this figure. So here, if the output of machine M1 is yes, then the output of machine M will be also yes. If the output of machine M2 will be yes, then the output of machine will be also yes, right? That is, if the output of any machine will be yes, then the output of machine M will be S, right? So this is the machine. Now you have to show that this machine accept all the strings which are belong into L, right? So now let us see. So now first we consider a string W which is belong into L1 union L2, right? So consider a string W which is belong into L1 union L2. So clearly, if W belong into L1 union L2, it means W either belong into L1 or belong into L2. So either L1 or L2. So now let us see. If W belong into L1, then the answer of machine M1 is yes. That is the output of machine M1 is yes, right? If W belong into L2, then the output of machine M2 is yes. In any situation, the output will be S, right? So since output is yes, therefore the output of machine M will be also S, right? So when W belong into L1 union L2, in this case the output of the machine becomes Y, that is S, right? If W not belong into L1 union L2, in this case the machine M1 does not give any answer, M2 machine also not give any answer. In this case machine the M also not give any answer, right? That is, therefore machine only accept L1 union L2, right? It means L1 union L2 is a recursive enumerable language, right? So since you have constructed a machine M which accept all the string belong into L1 union L2, therefore L1 union L2 language is a recursive enumerable language, right? Now let us come to the next slide. In this slide, the next property is the intersection of two recursive languages is also recursive, right? So that is, if language L1 and L2 are recursive languages, then their intersection will be also recursive. So now you have to prove this. So that is, the intersection of two recursive languages is also recursive. So here we prove. So since L1 and L2 are recursive languages, it means there exists two Turing machine which can decide to L1 and L2. So let these Turing machine are M1 and M2, right? So M1 and M2 are the two Turing machine which can decide machine L1 and L2, right? So if the answer is yes and no, it means this machine decide to the language. If the answer is only yes, then machine only accept, right? Not decide, only accept. So if the answer is yes or no, then machine decide to that language. If the answer is only yes, in this case machine only accept. Now we construct another Turing machine using these two Turing machines. So here we have constructed this Turing machine M. So look the working of this machine here. If the output of machine M1 is yes, right? In this case, we enable the second machine. We enable the second machine, right? If the output of first machine is yes, then we enable, E for enable, right here enable, E for enable. So the second machine will be active when the output of first machine is S. But if the output of first machine is no, then the output of M will be no, right? So that is, if the output of first machine is no, then the output of machine M will be no, right? Next here, if the second machine active, then if the output of second machine is yes, then the output of machine M will be yes, right? So if the output of this second machine is yes, then the output of the machine M will be S. But if the output of second machine is no, then the output of machine M will be no, right? If the output of any machine is no, then the answer will be no, right? Then the output of the machine M will be no. But if the output of both machine is yes, then the output of this machine will be S, right? Now you have to show that this machine decide to the language L1 intersection L2. Now you have to show that this. So now first we consider a string W belong into L1 intersection L2. Since W belong into L1 intersection L2, it means that W is belong into both languages. That is, it belong into L1 and also belong into L2. So since W belong into L1, therefore answer of machine M1 will be yes. And if the answer is yes, then second machine active. Since W is also belong into L2, then the output of machine M2 will be also yes. If the output of machine M2 is yes, then the output of this machine is S, right? So clearly W accept the string belong into L1 intersection L2. So now we consider another string W which not belong into L1 intersection L2. So since W not belong into L1 intersection L2, it means that W is not belong into L1, either W not belong into L1 or W not belong into L2, right? If W not belong into L1, then the answer of machine M1 is no. If W not belong into L2, then the answer of machine M2 is no. In both situations, the output of machine M is no, right? So clearly machine M decide to the language L1 intersection L2, because if W belong into L1 intersection L2, then the output of the machine will be yes. If W not belong into L1 intersection L2, then the output of the machine will be no, right? So therefore machine M decide to the language L1 intersection L2. Therefore language L1 intersection L2 is a recursive language. Okay. Now let us come to the next slide. Next property is the intersection of two recursive enumerable language is also recursive enumerable, right? So that is, if L1 and L2 are recursive enumerable language, then their intersection will be also recursive enumerable, right? So this property is the last property, right? So now we will prove this also. So here, look the proof. Since L1 and L2 are recursive enumerable language, right? Therefore, there exists two Turing machine M1 and M2 which accept L1 and L2. So here we let M1 is this and M2 is this. So since L1 and L2 are recursive enumerable, therefore machine M1 and M2 will be look like this. That is, in this case the answer of machine will be only S, right? Now you have to construct another machine using M1 and M2. So here we construct another machine M using M1 and M2. Look here, if the output of machine M1 is yes, then second machine will be active. If the output of machine M1 is yes, then second machine will be active, right? Will be enable. Here E for enable. In this case, now we check the output of second machine. If the output of the second machine is also yes, then the output of machine M will be S, right? So if the output of this second machine is also yes, then the output of machine M will be S, right? So this machine will behave like this. Now you have to check L1 intersection L2 is accepted by this or not. Now let us see. So consider a string W which is belong into L1 intersection L2, right? So consider a string W belong into L1 intersection L2. So since W belong into L1 intersection L2, therefore W is belong into both language, that is in L1 and L2. In both language W belong. Now here, since W belong into L1, therefore output of this machine will be S, right? So since W is belonging to L1, therefore the output of machine M1 is yes. As soon as the output of machine M1 is yes, then second machine active. Now clearly W is also belonging to L2. Clearly W is also belonging to L2. Therefore the output of machine M2 will be also S, right? If the output of machine yes, then the output of machine M is also S, right? So clearly W is accepted by this machine. So here we consider a string W which is belong into L1 intersection L2, right? So clearly this machine accept all those strings which are belong into L1 intersection L2. Therefore machine M accept the language L1 intersection L2. Therefore this language L1 intersection L2 language is a recursive enumerable language. Okay, so this is the last properties of recursive and recursive enumerable language. These proofs are very important. Therefore all of you must learn these proofs, right? So now we are going to end the lecture. Okay, thank you.